Okay, I wanted to provide verification in real time about my stay in Las Vegas from September 30th through October 4th to avoid people claiming that I photoshopped pictures or whatever they're going to claim. People are coming with a bunch of crazy stuff. But in any event, that is my boarding pass for Spirit Airlines from Detroit to Las Vegas, September 30th, and I've covered up my seat number and my name because there are weirdos and stalkers. Also, here is my baggage claim ticket for September 30th. That's a trip to Las Vegas. Boarding pass home, October 4th. And my baggage claim ticket for October 4th. Also, to verify where I was staying, cover up my confirmation number. The Orora Grand Hilton. And it's just, checkout time, internet, how to sign in. Verification, I was at Planet Hollywood on the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, the other one from the 3rd, and just another little receipt somewhere I ate. Now this was the day of the event, situation, attack, whatever you want to call it, but I ate Earl sandwich earlier that day, and this is actually next door or right adjacent to Yolo Mexican restaurant where I was that evening when the gunfire erupted on the very same day. And lastly, my brother's wedding was on the next day, the 2nd. I cover up their names. It just a little deck of card memento. 10/2/2017 was the date of my brother's wedding. So that's that verification that I was in those locations on those dates, and I believe that's sufficient. Hey everybody, it's Aurora Monroe, and after much debate, I've decided to make this video. The reason why I'm making this video is to give everyone my eyewitness account of what happened down at Planet Hollywood on October 1st, going into October 2nd, that evening, because I don't see anybody talking about it. I see everybody talking about how people were, shot down at Mandalay Bay, and they were, but I don't see anyone except for 2 other people on YouTube that testified to anything else happening that evening. But there was a lot going on that evening, trust me. And the thing that's really shocking to me is that there are hundreds, if not thousands of us who know it. It's the Las Vegas Strip. It was a lot of people up and down the Strip, and we were all affected by this terrorist attack. I don't have any other words for it. And after I explain to you what happened, now you all can get into the particulars about who the shooters were and where they were and all that debate, but that's not what I'm going to talk about. I'm just going to tell you what the facts are as far as what happened to me and a lot of other people down at Planet Hollywood that evening where I was. Okay? I saw the video of the lady who was at the Bellagio. Her story is very, very similar to mine. And as a matter of fact, I think, I can't be certain, I think the shots that she heard were the same gunshots that affected us, because Planet Hollywood and Bellagio are in very close proximity to one another. And I think that really could be the case, that we were running from the same things. But so this video isn't taken down. I won't get into any kind of theories, any kind of conjecture. I'm just going to give you the straight facts as to what happened to me. All right, first of all, I was in Las Vegas from September 30th all the way through October 4th, that Wednesday. I was in Vegas for the first time to attend my brother's wedding. I was in charge of doing the bride's makeup. I was, happy about being there. We were having a good time. When we got in there on Saturday, we had a good time. Sunday morning, I went down to the Old Strip zip lining. As a matter of fact, I have these from Slotzilla. Let me see if I can get it, because the date is right here. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, you go. October 1st. Okay? October 1st. That's, oh, here it is. Slotzilla zip line. And I got 2 commemorative pictures that morning. Anyway, that evening was a bachelorette party and the bachelor party in 2 different suites. We were staying at the Orora Hilton, and the Orora Hilton is attached to Planet Hollywood through a circular mall called the Miracle Mile Shops, I believe the full name of it is. So that evening, I went to the bachelorette party in the suite. Everything fun. Everyone else was scheduled to go to see Vivica's Black Magic Live strip show. I decided not to go because I was tired, and also I was in charge of doing the bride's makeup the next day, so I thought that I would rest. Tomorrow was going to be a long day, so I would just, stay around the suite and, chill or whatever. So about 10 o'clock, 9:45, 10 o'clock-ish, I got hungry, and I decided to walk from my hotel room through the mall to Planet Hollywood to go to YOLO Mexican restaurant. So I'm at the restaurant. I order my food. They tell me it'll be maybe 15 minutes at tops. So I sat down at a slot machine inside of Planet Hollywood right next to YOLO Shops. I do have a picture of the area on my cell phone that I will post as to the exact location and also the exact slot machine I was sitting at for proximity for anybody who wants to check it. But so I'm sitting there, I'm just pushing a button, on the slot machine, whatever, and then I hear gunfire. Now I hear gunfire over the sound of the casino, which is, a lot of bells and whistles because machines going off or whatever. There was music playing and people talking, so it was, an elevated amount of noise in the casino, and yet I still heard these gunshots, and I mean automatic weaponry. Now let me stop here and say this. I'm from Detroit. I know gunfire. Unfortunately, I'm too familiar with it for that reason, and also because my ex-husband was a Marine, Camp Pendleton, 1st Maintenance Battalion during Operation Desert Storm, and I lived with him on Camp Pendleton at that time. I'm very familiar with gunshots, gunfire, ricochets, echoes, all of that. Also, my father was a police officer all of my life until he retired, and I know gun safety. I know how to clean them. I know weapons. Okay, don't like them too much, but I know them. So I hear gunshots, and in that split second when I hear it, I automatically stop, like, what's going on? But then my mind was telling me, no, you don't hear gunshots. You're not in Detroit. You're tripping. Maybe it's something else. And then my mind is arguing back, like, no, you know what that is. So I was very uncomfortable. And like I said, this is taking place, all this processing, like within a second in my head. And I get up. I'm about to leave or move out of the area. And then much closer to proximity to where my body was, more gunfire, much closer. I would estimate it had to be within a half block of where I was. If you know gunfire, and if you've been around auto weapons, you know that you could feel that in your soul, for lack of a better term. It's a reverberation that you hear when, one of those kind of guns go off, okay? So in that split section, I was already in the motion of getting up out of my chair. I heard the closer one, and I turned around, and I just started running. Now, as I was turning around, I saw people starting to come around this corner. Now, where I was sitting in Planet Hollywood was right there where the door is to go to the Miracle Mile Shops, and then off to the right-hand side from that is the door that leads directly to the strip. So I would say 50, 100 feet, maybe, at tops, between me and the door to the Strip via Outer Planet Hollywood and the mall. I was right there. If you check on the maps, there is Yolo Mexican Restaurant and Earl of Sandwich right here in this opening, and then on the other side of that, there's the mall, and then there's the door. So people are starting to pour in. Okay, now chaos erupted immediately. All right, on the second round of fire, everybody sort of stopped, stuttered, and paused. The first round of fire, I think they were all processing it just like I was, but the second round, unmistakable. Everybody split, like all different directions, running. I mean, leaping over tables, leaping over just everything. It was chaos. Okay, so I'm running and running some more. I'm trying to get to the right hand side of the wall. I run past the cashier's cage, and then I see a set of doors that say exit. So I bust through those doors, and then there's like some stairs, and I'm running down the stairs. More stairs, running down the stairs. There's a pile of people behind me. It sounded like a herd of elephants, a herd of buffaloes, but it was a herd of people. Everybody just on the ground. So we're going down. I'm going down the stairs. A whole lot of people with me. Turn left, turn right. I don't even know where I was turning. I was just running. Okay, as far away as I could, as fast as I could from that sound. So I'm running. Come to a set of doors. It was like 5 or 6 doors. Okay, just a bay door. And then, I hit the door, and I went out, and I stopped, and I looked, and I said, oh my God, this is leading back out to the Strip. So I look on the other side of the door, and at the same time there was a guy next to me, and he was doing the same thing I was doing at almost the same time. We looked, saw that it was leading to outside. We didn't know where this shooting person was, where he was going. So we looked, and we shut the doors, but we still got all these people running behind us. So we turn around, we're waving like, stop, please stop. You can't go out these doors. Don't go out these doors. So me and the guy explained to them that there's no handles on the outside of the door. So whomever is outside can't get in unless we let them in. So, that was that. So everybody just stopped, and everybody behind us was telling the other people to stop before they, just plow into, the people that were in the front. So at that particular time, my body remembers that I'm 48, I smoke cigarettes, and I just ran for my damn life, and now I can't breathe. So I'm heaving, and I'm trying to, get it together. I'm trying to calm down. My mind is racing. What the hell is going on? Oh my God, I got to call somebody. Everybody around me, we're all in one or two states, shock or panic, one of the two. It was no in between. It was nobody cool down there. Okay. Nobody calm. Everybody was trying to process it the same way, but we all just came off of this power run. So, somebody, I don't know who it was, started rubbing my back. They saw I couldn't breathe, and I'm trying to calm down. And then I'm fiddling in my purse. I'm trying to call my brother. All right. So I finally, get the phone. I try to call him. I can't remember the number. I'm like, the same number for 15 years. I hit messages. I slide the thing, and okay, I'm calling him. So I'm trying to explain to him that there were gunshots, and I ran, and oh my God, and I'm just rambling in the phone, and I'm just talking real fast. And, he's trying to figure out what's going on. I asked him, could he, turn on the news, do something, find out what's going on. So he asked me, where are you? And so I finally look around, and I don't know where I'm at. It's just like a yellowish, wheat colored walls, concrete, pillars, and every so often it was spray painted with a stencil on the wall, no smoking. That was it. So I'm looking around, and I said, does anybody know where we are? And we're all looking like, no. Some guy said it looks like a service entrance or service tunnel, whatever. Come to find out, we were in like a service catacombs area underneath the entire casino, underneath Planet Hollywood. That's where we ended up. So I'm on the phone with my brother. I'm explaining things to him. He's trying to figure out what's going on. I wanted him to call my daughter, who was still back in Michigan. but Michigan is 3 hours ahead. So this was about 10:30 ish, 10:50 ish, I don't know. So that means it was like 1 or 2 in the morning in Michigan. So wake her up, I tell her what's going on, then I just bust out crying like an idiot on the phone. And I mean, I'm just shook up. We don't know what's going on. We have no eyes, we're blind, we have no windows. Nobody is saying anything to us. So everybody is doing the same thing, basically. Looking through their phone, calling loved ones, and all of that. So things started to calm down. I'm starting to process stuff. I'm like, oh my God, somebody's shooting. So my brother, he was looking on Twitter and everything. He said it's coming up that there's some active shooter on the strip. And I said, where? And so he was scrolling and looking, and he was like, well, it says here there's one at New York, and there's also one at the Aria. And I was like, what? There's more than one of them? And he was like, that's what they're saying. I was like, oh my God. I said, well, what about down here with us? He was like, I don't see nothing. And he scrolled. He said, yep, they said at the Bellagio. They never said Planet Hollywood, but like I said, the Planet Hollywood and Bellagio are so close. I think that it was the same quote unquote event. So about 30 to 45 minutes later, we're still panicked, but we're calming down. We're trying to figure things out. Nobody's moving. Nobody's leaving that area. We're all down there hiding. Like, okay, it's quiet down here. We don't hear any more shots, so we think we're safe, whatever. Planet Hollywood sent a security team to come and get us out of that basement, okay? It was 4 guys. They were armed. So they escort us all marching right back up all those stairs. This is when I realized exactly how far I've even run, okay? I was like, oh my God, I didn't even see this on the way down. But yeah, we ran quite a bit. So we get back up to the casino floor, and it's just eerie. It's totally silent. Nobody on the casino floor except for armed Planet Hollywood security guards. And they're posted ever so often. And the way that they were looking was, if somebody tries to come in here, they're going to have a war on their hands. They were ready for something. We didn't know what, but they were ready for something. So they put us on this escalator, and they took us up to the 4th floor conference center, where they gave us a formal announcement. They said, some security people said, attention, there's an active shooter on the strip. We don't know where you're staying officially, but you are now guests of Planet Hollywood until further notice. The entire Las Vegas Strip is now shut down, and we cannot allow you to leave. So then they started just giving instructions. They said, if you want water, go over here. If you need medical care, go over there. If there's anybody with a heart condition or diabetes or anything, would you please come over here and let us know? They had a guy who was, I guess, triaging people who were having some kind of difficulty, and they had a security guard that was with him that had a backpack with a cross on it with medical stuff in there. They had insulin, they had everything in that little black bag. I was like, wow, Planet Hollywood really got their stuff together. So there was 2 guards posted at the top of the escalator, and there was 2 guards posted at the bottom of the escalator, and we weren't going anywhere, okay? That was it. We were there until further notice, and there was going to be no discussion about it, okay? So at that particular time, my phone is still blowing up, because now my brother has called my father, who was staying at the Monte Carlo, which is even closer to Mandalay Bay. But my father, being an ex-law enforcement person, retired, he's worried about me. So he's trying to figure out where I was, and I told him I'm no longer in that basement. I'm, now up in the conference center, and we're safe, and there's armed guards up here. And he said, just stay where you are. We'll try to find out what's going on. And I said, okay. So that's when I finally sat down and tried to process things. So I'm sitting almost no more than 10 feet from the top of the escalator. Right there is a garbage can with a smoking receptacle in it, and I needed a cigarette like real bad at that point. So I'm sitting there, and I'm listening to the chatter on the security guards' two-way radios, okay? And I'm listening to the police stream that I also downloaded off of YouTube, so it was the very same one. So I'm hearing shots fired here, shots fired there. I'm hearing the chatter that's going on between the security guards, okay? And I'm trying to look at the tweets and everything and see what's going on. At that particular time, there was no hashtag or anything to look for, so I'm typing in all kind of stuff. I'm typing in Las Vegas, I'm typing in shooting, I'm typing in breaking, I'm just typing in stuff, and then I came across something, a hashtag pray for Vegas and hashtag Vegas strong. So I clicked on my phone to follow that, but I looked and my phone battery is dying, okay? I'm only at like 30% going down into the 20s, and I'm like, oh my God, I don't even know how long I'm gonna be here. So I tell my brother from now on to just text message me to try to save power on my phone, and please try to find out what's going on and let me know what's going on. Now at this very same time, everybody that's upstairs in this conference center area with me is doing the same thing. They're calling loved ones, some of which were also reporting shots fired to their loved ones standing next to me in real time. So when people are saying that there's no proof that these other shots fired happened, I say BS, because I heard panicked people on the phone trying to instruct their loved ones to just stay cool or run or do whatever, and everybody who was talking sincerely knew or thought they knew that their lives were potentially in danger, okay? There's no way around that. Nobody can argue that point, okay? Every single person that comes forward who was involved in running away from that stuff that night had the exact same feeling, okay? Exact same feeling. And we were trying to comfort one another. Some people were very shaken. Because my whole body was shaking, like when I was in the basement, my whole body. And then adrenaline started wearing off for me, and then my leg started hurting. And I was like, what the hell did I do with my leg? I didn't even know that I had hurt myself. But come to find out, me going into a full thoroughbred sprint like that, I ripped or tore a muscle or something in my thigh. But, to me, that's minor compared to things that I know happen to other people. So we're listening to all of this stuff. Here's another question that kept coming up. How come there's no other video? How come there's no other pictures from other people? I will tell you why. Because they told us not to tweet or live stream because it would be giving away the tactical positions of the police officers. I have the tweet for verification of that fact. I think that was at 2 something, and it was, I can't remember the time, but it is still on the LVPD's Twitter site. Go scroll down to October 2nd and it still should be there. They told us not to live stream. They told us not to tweet. That's why there's not that much video. And a lot of people like myself, our phone batteries were dying, and honestly, I couldn't give a damn about filming anything. I was just trying to calm down. I'm 48 years old. I'm from a different generation. I don't just pull out my camera to catch every little damn thing that's going on in my life. Okay? That's just not how I operate. And it was just, to me, to see people so distressed around me, and I was distressed, I consider it rude to have some camera in my face. So I wasn't going to point my camera at anybody else. The only thing that I did do when I was sitting there is I took a picture of my feet, and I took a picture of the billboard that had Ringo Starr's name on it to show my brother exactly where I was. And I sent that picture to him, and I'm also going to put that on either this video or the next video for verification so you all can see it. But there was a lot of chaos that night. Okay, here's something that came through in the text messages from my brother. There was a bomb threat at the Luxor Hotel. And when that occurred, Homeland Security showed up. Now, here's what I find very, very funny about all this media coverage, okay? Everybody's talking about the LVPD and everybody's talking about the FBI. But I know for a fact Homeland Security was there, and they were running shit. They were running everything. Okay? FBI wasn't there yet. They were not there. Homeland Security was there. And they are the ones who vetted the bomb threat out. Okay? About 20 minutes, 20 to 30 minutes at most of us being upstairs, we were told that the shooter at Mandalay Bay had been killed by police officers upon entry. That's what we were told, okay? In real time. Now, everything that I know to be true, or everything that I'm hearing that evening, all chaos aside, when I wake up the next day, they kept us in there for, I would say, 3.5 to 4 hours after we were escorted up. Okay, I didn't go to bed till 5 a.m. And I know I left my hotel room at 9:45-ish p.m. So all of that time, I'm involved in this. Okay, all of that time, from running to the basement to up in the conference center, I heard things, I saw things, and when I wake up the next day, none of that is a fact anymore. Okay, and not only that, people are acting like none of that ever happened. I'm like, wait a minute. What do you mean it didn't happen? We're all here. We all know that it happened. All right. Why is the police saying that someone that got killed last night committed suicide this morning? Why is it that we had shots fired everywhere legitimately? Because I heard shots myself. So if somebody told me somebody shot down in New York, I'm going to believe that. Because somebody shot at me or near me at Planet Hollywood. I'm not discounting what people are saying. It's everybody else who wasn't there armchair guessing what's going on, because it's obvious that they're being lied to. But they don't even know to the extent to which they are being lied to. I'm here to tell you to the extent to which you are being lied to. Everything that we know that night didn't exist the next day. I understand chaos in the moment. I understand confusion. But I heard radio chatter saying that they got a man down. I heard radio chatter that said that they said paramedics were being shot at the Tropicana. That's what I heard with my own ears on the radio. Okay? That's not something that I read on a website or looked at on CNN. I heard that coming through the radio. So you can't tell me what didn't happen. Now, let's clear up this stuff about crisis actors and all of that crazy stuff. I know that crisis actors have been used in other situations in the past. And honestly, when we were locked up for 4 hours, I don't know what they did. So if they had crisis actors over there being interviewed during that 4 hours time, I can't tell you anything about that. But it could be plausible. But I didn't see one. Okay? And I knew that everybody that was around with me, over 100, 200, 300 people, wasn't no damn crisis actor. If they were, they deserve Academy Awards and an upgrade in their pay for whatever they were acting. Because these people were genuinely as messed up in the head as I was. Period. And I'm still messed up. I still don't want to hear no loud noises. I'm still jumpy. I did not feel safe until I got on the ground back in Michigan. Why? Because as far as I was concerned, there were still shooters out there and they never caught them. Okay? And when we were talking to amongst each other the next day, all of the locals and people who were around, I would go out on the cigarette break and just talk to people in general. And everybody knows that they're lying. Everybody. The general public is just catching up, but we knew in less than 3 hours after all this happened that they were lying. Okay? So I attempted to come to YouTube in order to see other people who were there like I was say what happened to them, and I don't see anything. All I see is this one video at the Bellagio from that lady who live streamed it, and I see another video from a gentleman who said him and his family got caught up in some gunfire down at New York. I'll try to find a video and post a link for you guys to watch his as well. All right. He was hiding in the Hershey's store. Hershey's or Coca-Cola, something like that, he said. One of those novelty stores. And he got separated from his family. He was hiding in a bathroom. Okay? Hiding in a bathroom. He got separated from his family. And he was hiding in a bathroom. Who in the hell is going to fake that? Nobody. Not one person. All right? So, I just wanted to let everyone know that a whole lot of stuff went down that day. A whole lot of stuff went down. And almost none of it is being reported on mainstream news. Almost none of it. And what is reported, like people like me, we're being dismissed and minimized and thrown to the side. But I was no less traumatized, okay? No, I didn't get shot with a bullet. But I felt and still feel like I could have. So, to be told that that didn't happen to me pisses me off, quite frankly. It doesn't help me to heal from what I went through, and it doesn't help the other people who were there heal from what they went through. Everybody went through some stuff. Now, I'm going to say one more thing, and then I'm going to stop this video. The next day, after my brother got married, he still got married the next day, the whole strip on the other side of the street from Planet Hollywood was still locked down. The whole strip, as far as car traffic, was still locked down. There was no cars. It was a ghost town on the street. And everybody knows in Las Vegas is a whole bunch of Uber traffic and taxis and everything. Not that morning. They told us that the entire other side of the strip was considered a crime scene. All of it. From Mandalay Bay all the way down to the damn end. And they didn't let people go across that bridge to get there. We had to walk on one side of the street. Period. For hours. Until they decided that they were done doing whatever it was that they were doing over there. I was supposed doing those interviews with people or whatever. But here's another thing about that. I ain't seen no news media. I did not see one news truck. I did not see one CNN, one ABC, one nobody. No Fox, no nobody. Okay? They weren't asking us anything. They weren't interviewing us. So, I don't know where they were taking place. Besides, the hospital. But, nope. But then again, I wasn't down in Mandalay Bay. And that's where they say everything was going down. But, no. Now, I went the next day as well to cash in a ticket that I had. Oh, another one, by the way. I left $128 in that slot machine that I ran from. I did not run away from my imagination. Nor did I just run away from $128 for some, I think maybe it could have been firecrackers or possibly some shots somewhere stuff. No. I left money. I left food. They were shooting. Right there at the door at Planet Hollywood. Or very close in proximity to it. Flat out, period. Last thing. I know I said that before, but last thing for real this time. I went to cash in my ticket at you put them in this, like an ATM machine and they give you your money back. They didn't give me my money back. What the hell? I got to go to a cashier. So I go to the cashier. He looks at the timestamp, whatever. And so he asked me, were you here with all that went down last night? I said, yeah. He said, what happened? And so I told him briefly what had happened. He looks at the cashier next to him and he said, I told you so. So she looks back at him and says, well, why are they telling you guys not to say so? He was like, I don't know. I didn't say so. She did. Pointing at me. So from that, I gathered that the employees that were even there at the time were threatened to keep their damn mouths shut. Period. Period. So then he says to me that he had a cousin who was security at the Harvest concert and who was injured. But he said that his cousin told him that there was a shooter in the crowd. Now, that's a whole lot of hearsay, but I had that hearsay less than so many hours after the event. Okay, I think that happened about maybe 4 p.m. because that was after my brother's wedding and after my brother's wedding dinner. Okay, about 4 p.m. or so when I went back down there to cash out my ticket. So that's the other information that I have from a third party, that there was some other shenanigans or some other shooter down there. So then we briefly talked about why they're lying and whatever. And this is the consensus that all of us came up to. Money, basically. Now, of course, now that I'm looking at other things, I think there's a whole lot of other subplots going on here. I had even envisioned maybe some Ocean's 11 type stuff going on here, with diversions and such, if you know what I'm saying. But we came up with money. If tourists do not feel safe coming to Las Vegas, Nevada, because that is their only main primary industry, that whole dust bowl down there would die. Period. It wouldn't be any more true industry down there bringing in all that money without that. I mean, it was a desert, and they fixed it up and did a beautiful thing with it. But if you don't have that thing, you don't have Las Vegas, Nevada anymore. Period. So we think that they were lying about the fact that multiple people were able to carry out this attack, and they couldn't do nothing about it, because nobody knows why the gunshots stopped when they did and what exactly happened. But it was very well proven that if they decided to keep it going, wasn't anybody really gonna stop them. Not really. Not immediately. Not before they hurt hundreds of more people. So, like I said, I'm not gonna get into all those things on this video. So basically, that's it. I'm gonna stop it right there, and just say that no, it's not a hoax. Yes, there are people like me who were there on the ground running for their lives, and I would ask any of those people, please, if you see this video, please upload something and tell people the truth about what happened. Because if the truth is not told about this, then they'll continue to just lie to us, and that's going to be the end of that. The only people who can stop that is us. Now, perhaps we will, perhaps we won't, but at least the information is out there. At least we got more truth coming out than lies, because it has to be combated some kind of way. It has to be. You know, this stuff cannot stand. And last but not least, people who want to try to make this a racial or political situation, it may very well be. But I will tell you this. When I was in the basement with people of all colors, of all political parties, all races, nationalities, and countries, I was with 3 Australians, 2 Canadians, a guy from Kansas, and 2 other Americans from elsewhere, and I'm originally from Detroit, okay? We weren't thinking about any of that, okay? We were helping each other. We were concerned about one another. And in that moment, we were just human beings. And we were just all fighting for the same thing. And to come back out of that situation and see everybody fighting over what is ridiculous. It's just, to me, it's utterly ridiculous. Because honestly, I know for a fact, if any of you are in that same situation and you had to survive, and some Democrat or Republican was standing next to you and that was your only chance of survival, you drop all that stuff. So please just try to be a little bit nicer to one another throughout this situation. Anybody coming to my page with hate and all that stuff, I'm going to block you and delete you because I don't have time for it over here. Alright, so I appreciate you listening. And again, I'm going to upload another video after this one, just briefly saying what I think is going on in terms of the conspiracy angle of it and all of those things. But I did not want to include that in this video because that video may well be taken down. I don't see any reason why they would want to take this one down. So again, I thank you for your time and thank you for listening. Peace out. Okay, I wanted to show you all a few things that I stated in my previous video, and I wanted to show you verification of those things. So first I will show you exactly the Planet Hollywood door. Okay, so this is the door from the Strip to Planet Hollywood and the Miracle Mile shops. I believe this is a door that not only where I heard the shots out here on the Strip, but where a lot of people just started also rushing into the casino and being part of the people who were running on the casino floor. As you can see, there's a lot of different entrances here, and you know, all the traffic that would have been on the outside, anybody who was in earshot of those gunshots would have headed to the nearest doors, and for a lot of people this would have been the nearest door. Also, here's another shot of the front of Planet Hollywood from this angle. I think this is a little bit further up Strip. Maybe what we were just looking at was over to that side. Now, from the inside, this is where I was located. I was at Yolo's Mexican restaurant, and I was waiting for my food, and that is the casino floor. This right here, on the other side of this machine, is the machine where I was sitting. So I was 1, 2, 3. I was on the very end at this machine right here when gunfire erupted, and then when I ran back that way, which would be heading into the casino. If you go this way, that would be out here to the Miracle Mile shops, and then that door headed to the Strip. All right. Is there another picture? Here's another angle on that same situation. The bay of slot machines, rows of them right here, Earl of Sandwich, and the door to the Miracle Mile shops, and right here off to this site is the door. So you come on into the door from the Strip right about here, you walk that way, and then you turn this way into the casino. Right here is into the mall and going on back there. Okay, now the only two pictures that I took while we were on lockdown in Planet Hollywood were these two following pictures. And I was just showing my brother where I was and that I was, you know, safe with other people. As you can plainly see, there are people just sitting around, lying around up here in the conference center, because we were just on lockdown for 3.5, 4 hours. I was trying to be respectful and not catch a lot of people. There's a whole big area over here where a lot of other people were sitting. There's not really that much chairs. There's a bathroom off this way and also a conference center where you have chairs, so a lot of people were in there. This was the lobby portion right off to this side here, and I'll get this next shot so you can see. That's not it. This way. Okay, this is the same. I was sitting in the same spot. Those are my feet. So right here where these people are standing, that is the escalator, about right here. And this is, you know, Sin City Theater, box office, you know, conference center, all of that on the 4th floor. And this is while we were on lockdown. It's just random people sitting down wherever they were, waiting to be let go, because we were not being let go. I was sitting right here by the garbage receptacle that had also a ashtray attached to it. Now, people were asking why there isn't much video coming out of a lot of different places. I can't say what's going on in other places, but this is why we weren't at Planet Hollywood. Las Vegas Metro Police Department said, please do not live stream or share tactical positions of our officers on the scene. This may put emergency responders in danger. So basically, we were told, okay, do not live stream, tweet, or show anything, because if the media or other people got hold of it, or maybe the shooters themselves got hold of it, they would know what we knew and see what we saw. So we just simply weren't going to do it. And like I said, besides that, with all the stress that was going on, I just thought it was plain rude to have cameras in people's faces, honestly. This tweet underneath there was also saying that flights are being diverted. They're talking about media staging here. Oh, also, it says here the next tweet was confirming that one suspect is down. This is an active investigation. Again, please do not head down to the strip at this time. It said one suspect is down, not the suspect is down. So at this particular time, they were still looking for other suspects. No doubt about that. This is the tweet that we saw. The attacker was killed in a hotel room of Mandalay Bay Casino after a shootout by police. That was also stated by, law enforcement and the security that I was sitting next to, that he was shot and killed upon entry. Here's a tweet that happened at 2 a.m. that evening saying shooters at M, Stratosphere, Mandalay Bay, Luxor, and Hooters, please stay off the strip. They are opening fire. We were receiving various reports from all over the place. And then finally at 3:31 they said, at this time we do not believe there are any more shooters. More information to come shortly. But they still didn't let us go. Even after this was stated, they still didn't let us go yet. They held us like another hour, half an hour after this point, because Homeland Security had to clear everything almost immediately, and that's the same thing. Let me see here. Oh, this is just more confirmation that they were shooting at the Tropicana, at the medics. Here, I've seen that, but medics are being shot at the Tropicana. That was also stated over the police scanners. Here it says, perhaps the lure is to get first responders to hunt. This is so sickening. So people knew that there were shooters everywhere. Okay? They're not quite sure about the other reports of shots fired at other hotels. An additional 7 now. Maybe diversions. And I know for a fact that out of those 7, most of them were legitimate. It's just that by the time police or anybody responded to the call of shots fired, whoever was firing was gone. It was like somebody showed up, they put a few rounds of burst of fire there, people ran and scattered. And this is a personal thought, this is nothing I can confirm, but it seems like as soon as people panicked and ran, those people dropped their weapons and blended into the chaotic crowd, and they just walked away. So their only purpose was to shoot off a few rounds and then leave, period, so they wouldn't get caught. And they melted away in the confusion. So let's see, is there anything else? This is just the shot outside of the Alara Hilton suite. This was our view from the 23rd floor. Here is Trump Tower right here, and that is the Ferris wheel from the side view, not the front view. And this is panned over to the left a little bit more, where you can see Paris. So you can see exactly how far the Alara Hilton is away from the Luxor and the other parts of the Strip, spatially. And this right here is Planet Hollywood proper. The circular area here is part of the Miracle Mile shops that attach Planet Hollywood to the Alara Grand Hilton. And then I have one big shot of Planet Hollywood itself out of my window. So this right here is the Miracle Mile shops that attaches the two, and this is Planet Hollywood proper. There's one more thing that I wanted to show everyone, and that is the transcript from that evening and the police scanner. So hopefully I still have this on cue in Firefox. If I could just pull up my history really fast. I should have had this done already. Let's see here, history. Dum-dum-dum. And I will also put this link underneath this video so that you all can go here yourself. This is a YouTube link to the young man who is telling his story about him and his girlfriend who were originally at the Route 91 country music concert when they were taking on fire and everything that he went through and being shot at New York, in the Tropicana. On top of that, it's a really, really intense story that he's telling. So I wouldn't want to put words in his mouth. You guys can go and see that for yourself. Now here, like I said, this is the transcribed audio from the Metro Police scanners that evening on October 1st. Here it says that the guy in the video that I'm going to give you the link to reports hearing additional rounds of gunfire being shot from both outside and within the Tropicana Hotel, as well as from the direction of the New York Hotel. These events are also referenced in the police scanner timeline below and are in serious contradiction to the official lone nut narrative about Stephen Paddock being presented by the Las Vegas Police Department and the mainstream media. But there are certain points in this police scanner that I just wanted to point out, and it collaborates both what I was aware of and what this young man was aware of, and a few other witnesses are starting to come forward. So we'll start at 10:32 p.m. and at 10:32, a report that an officer just north of the event suffered a gunshot wound to the head. Just north of the event, meaning up the strip further. Reports of multiple people running across runways at McCarran International Airport. Now, think about this. People who are going around spreading this crisis actor crap. Do you think a crisis actor is going to risk his life by running across an airport runway for no reason whatsoever? I doubt very seriously if that would have been scripted. Okay, those people were scared and they were just trying to get away from that gunfire, and they just happened to be running across the airport runway. Period. Alright, the next thing I want to point out at 11:03 is a report of active shooters headed down the escalator from New York to the Excalibur. Very interesting. 11:06, report many subjects were down. Shooter at front desk of New York. Now again, that young man said he heard shots inside of the place at New York. So that could possibly be, I don't know why this keeps popping up. That could possibly be what he was talking about that came over the police scanner here. 11:08. Please be advised there is a woman with a gunshot wound to the head at the Tropicana. Okay? Now, everybody knows a gunshot victim to the head, wherever that person is found, is generally where they're shot. That person is not running away or running from anywhere if they're shot in the head. I don't think people picked that person up and ran and dropped them off at the Tropicana. No. She was at the Tropicana when she was shot in the head. Head wound, gunshot wound to the head. Here. Now, I could be wrong. I don't know what woman they're talking about, but that's just kind of like common sense. Wherever you get shot in the head is where you're going to fall and where you're going to be found. I don't think people are transporting a gunshot victim that's wounded in the head that far and to a hotel instead of trying to get them anywhere else. Alright, I'm going to go on to 11:19. What sounds like fully automatic gunfire can be heard over an open microphone with a fast cycle rate, possibly an MP5 9mm. Bellagio is hearing a lot of shots being fired. A suspect is inside. Okay? Whoever reported that over the radio, and whoever was hearing the gunfire that was also coming through the open mic, thought it was from the direction to where they reported that a suspect was inside of the Bellagio. But that's still a mile away from Mandalay Bay, is what you all have to keep in mind. And it's right across the street from where I was, Planet Hollywood. So that's why I keep thinking that the shots that I heard could have possibly been from the same person. I don't know, but that would make sense. Here, officers reportedly breached suspect's room. Okay, I think they're talking about Paddock here. That's at 11:20. All right, here Bellagio is going to be negative. Blah blah blah. They were seeing a lot of different suspects. Female wearing camo, Air Force related dress uniform. She has short blonde hair with a cover on braid, with another female wearing a black top and blue jeans. They took off running after they passed me. Don't know what that's all about. Let me just keep going down the timeline for the things that I marked out. So 11:37. Control. Woman is calling in saying that a shooter is on the 7th floor of the garage at the Mirage. The parking garage. Okay, who knows what you could hit from there. But again, the Mirage is up the strip. It is nowhere near Mandalay Bay. Nowhere near the Luxor. At all. 11:43. Medics report that they are taking fire at the Tropicana. That goes back to that tweet that I showed you all. That medics are being fired upon. Well, here's the report. Medics report. Medics report. Not civilians. Medics themselves said they're being shot at. Okay? Here. Zebro 20 has 1 suspect down. Where? Who? Too many questions. 11:48. Control request update on possible device of the Luxor. That was the bomb threat that I told you that was called in. And which brought Homeland Security onto the scene. Here, reports of shots fired at the Caesars Palace and at the Bellagio again. Now, that's a whole 20 minutes later than here, even though somebody could have called it in late, but I doubt it very seriously. All right. Report of a guy with a gun at the Paris. Security is trying to point him out, but we can't find him. Security is trying to point him out. To the police. Guy with gun, Paris. Okay. Maybe he was just trying to shoot back. Maybe he was a civilian. Or, you know, maybe it wasn't an automatic weapon. It doesn't say. But that's interesting. It says here, Bellagio security confirms negative shots fired. No one is going in and out. They are locking it down. But there were shots fired here, and there was a suspect inside. So, how did it turn that to no shots were fired? I think that's kind of like bullshit, but that's just me. 11:56. And finally, this is where Planet Hollywood is mentioned. Officer reports that somebody grabbed a silver extinguisher and placed it behind a slot machine. That's crazy. We have intel. Shots fired at Harrah's. Need confirmation. Reports of shots fired at Planet Hollywood. And that's where I was located. Alright. Officers requested the Luxor be checked for shots fired. Subject ran across the roof at the front of the Tropicana. So, why was somebody on the roof running, and why did somebody call them a subject unless they look like a suspect? Strike Team 13 arrives at the Paris. Negative shots fired in New York, New York. It's just a bunch of crazy stuff going on here. Strike team deployed to Harrah's. Then you got a male walking into the Bellagio employee entrance with a rifle here. Really? But no shots fired there. Okay. See, it's just so many different things, and when you guys go through it, it has nothing to do with what you heard on mainstream media, however. Alright. It says no casualties at the Tropicana. But earlier we saw that at the Tropicana is where they had a gunshot wound, a female gunshot wound victim with a head wound. So either she didn't pass away or she was taken somewhere else. But no casualties does not mean no shots fired. That just means they don't see anyone deceased from those shots. No casualties at the Tropicana. So I don't know if that young lady with the head wound was taken away. She's not being counted. I don't know what that is. Don't know what that is. But I do think that all of this is very interesting because it contradicts everything that we were told in the mainstream media. And like I said, everybody on the ground knew all of this, but the next day, the official narrative was different. Here, officers, shots fired at the Aria. A bunch of people are running, but nobody actually heard the shots. Does that make sense? Were they or were they not shots fired? And here, a bunch of people are running, but nobody actually heard the shots. That right there is nonsense. And I don't think police officers are trained to cue their mic and speak nonsense into it. So that one is questionable as well and needs to be checked out. Here, 1232, we have a suspect who we are not yet able to take into custody. Strike Team 22 answers, we are en route. So, why aren't they able to take him into custody, and why do they need a whole ass strike team to get to him? That means somebody had some heavy weaponry and they weren't just going to walk up on him and try to put some handcuffs on him. As far as I'm concerned, if somebody else has a better explanation, please state so. But I'm just trying to use a little logic here, and none of this is logically making sense at this point. So I'm not going to belabor the point on this. Encore and went on lockdown. But as you can clearly see, like I stated, this whole night, reports of shots fired in New York, New York. Now, all this is going on after they say they breached Paddock's room. All this stuff. Bomb threats, shots over here, shots over there, shots everywhere, up and down the strip, up and down the strip. But the mainstream media is just telling you that people were shot around Mandalay Bay and at the country music concert. And if nothing else, you should question why they're only telling you that when it's clear on this transcript that there were other things going on. At least the news could have mentioned there were reports of other shots fired, but they hadn't been able to confirm it. That would have been enough. But to totally bury it and to totally act like it did not occur is just utterly ridiculous. And they're trying to treat the American public as if they're brain dead people who don't ask questions and don't care what really happened. And people do care, because real people were shot, real people were killed, real people were hurt, and they're lying about all of it. So I'll also put the link down here. I'm sure that you can also find it on your own. Now that it's out here, this is the transcript of the police radios that evening. I heard things myself with my own ears that were coming through the radio, and it does line up with this. These are some of the things I recall hearing in real time when it was happening. So basically, I'm just going to stop the video now and allow you all to draw your own conclusions from what I gave to you. But I just wanted to give you an additional verification of what I had told you in my my testimonial story about what happened to me when I was there. And also, I will be trying to gather information on my own and upload a video as to what my thoughts, conjecture, conspiracy theories, or whatever are about all of this. But I did not want to include that in my other video. So with that, I'll leave you all and have a wonderful day or evening.